Hello, my friends. Welcome to my podcast. Today's podcast, I have my friend Ignacio, the Bondex CEO. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Hello, Giannis, and hello, everyone. It's great to be here.
I would love to learn a lot about the Bondex. Since you are the CEO, you are creating something very innovative, but would like to hear from you itself. What is Bondex? And of course, your opinion in the industry, in the crypto market. But first, I would like to hear a few things about you.
Okay, well, before we get into Bondex, my name is Ignacio Palomera. I'm originally from Spain, but I've been living in London for the last 12 years now. Originally started in my career in finance, doing investment banking and M&A at HSBC, and I focused on or covered banks and fintech. And that's when I originally got into crypto. When you're in M&A, you have to disclose any trades you make. So wasn't really worth it for me to trade in stocks. But crypto, it was too new at the time. It wasn't regulated. You didn't have to tell compliance all the time. That's why I bought my first crypto. Because I did like trading. It's something I enjoyed in college. And that's what took me down the crypto rabbit hole. And I came out the other side, a builder, and really excited about the industry and really believing in the potential of the technology to democratize and restructure the internet.
That's amazing. And I see that a lot of people who were in the traditional finance and that they look to the crypto and they really understand it, then they go so strong, so all in that they never leave from the crypto. It's like kind of you can compare these two that you really find the value, right?
I mean, I saw the disruption of the financial system. It's been a long time since then. This was 2017. And I think, the ethos of the industry has changed, some positive, some negative ways. But to me, the potential and the original values of it, which are, again, financial inclusion, independence, empowering people, those ethos is, that's what Bondex is about. And that's, what I really believe in and why I love crypto and the potential of blockchain.
That's awesome. And that's the next question exactly for this podcast. So what is Bondex for the average person who maybe are not so much, familiar with the technology of blockchain, etc. Like in simple words, what is Bondex?
So we set out to build a LinkedIn or a Web3 LinkedIn killer. That's what we set out to do in the beginning, right? A professional network leveraging Web3 principles and technology to disrupt the traditional professional networking model. But, we've taken our learnings from having a mobile app and our job portal, which is web-based in the market with millions of users, clients that have tried us, like Binance, for example, has tried us for a few positions and searches and finding candidates in the past. We've grabbed these learnings in the last 2 years, seeing also the evolution of the industry and seeing also that basically social fi projects have fallen short. So our vision has evolved to be much bigger than that, which is a trusted social network. And we can do that through a reputation protocol. And so what Bondex is building next is essentially a reputation score based on off-chain and on-chain credentials. It mixes psychometric data and social, like you do in a professional network, a la LinkedIn.
Like in LinkedIn, yeah.
But you verify those credentials. You verify through attestations of someone, what they claim they do or they know or they have or their skills. You can validate those things. You can validate their Web2 reputations. So for example, you're a creator. You have your YouTube, your Twitter. I can verify those things. I can verify your audience. I can verify your channels, that you are who you say you are. And that makes your profile much more valuable.
Okay, but what do you mean verify? Because like the simplest way would be just to search with my name to go on Twitter or LinkedIn or somewhere else. Like what is the difference here? So
you would link your Twitter to your Bondex profile, and we would go see the number of users and audience that you have, and those becomes attestations that then get verified on chain. Hey, this channel belongs to Giannis, to this person in this profile. It has a certain amount of audience. And then you would get a verified tick with your basically with your Twitter channel on the Bondex profile.
Oh wow. And in this case, so is the purpose again is to connect the two parts, the people with the Web 3.0 projects, right? So actually companies to find talents in this industry.
That's right. So we're a Web3 LinkedIn killer, right? And that is essentially a three-sided marketplace, right? You have companies, you have recruiters or people acting as recruiters in our case, and you also have the users and the talent users looking for jobs. And in our case, also networking, right? Connecting with each other, speaking, wanting to network. The way that we do recruitment is also a la Web3. We decentralize hiring, and we do that through crowdsourcing and bounties. So the way it works is a company, instead of having to rely on middlemen like an agency, they can go directly to people and recruiters and candidates by basically bounties. So they post a bounty that is much cheaper than hiring an agency. We have them ranging from $4,000 to $15,000, and that incentivizes a global freelance pool of recruiters or people recruiting to earn to submit candidates, recommend candidates to that position. We build that funnel of candidates, and then we actually filter them with our own AI agent. We've built an AI agent off top of OpenAI. It does keyword matching and automates essentially the ranking and rating of that funnel of candidates, auto rejects the people that are not suitable, and it ranks people 1 to 5 stars. Then our talent operations team does a manual, essentially, quality assurance check and security assurance check. Because with remote jobs, there's actually a lot of people that are essentially, fake candidates. You can,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen this,
Yeah.
North Koreans posing as, remote workers.
It's a lot.
So you need to do a security check before you submit them to the company.
Yeah.
So the difference here is that instead of basically the company having to filter a lot of candidates, having a lot of noise and spam, they get a qualified, engaged candidate pool, 5 to 10 per week that are actually good, saving them a lot of time and money. And on the other side, you're democratizing those fees so that everyone can really monetize their network, not just middlemen, not just data monopolies and platforms. You monetize your own social graph and your own network.
That's cool, because actually for me it took 2 years to build a team of 15 people, employees for my companies. And I had a hard time to really find talented people or people who can do what they're promising, what they're saying in the beginning, So that's really cool. And since when is Bondex in the market, starting doing its first steps?
So the first steps we took in 2021, and we just released an experiment, which was our mobile app. And really it was just a gamified way of people to build their talent profiles. And we wanted to check, I was actually working in a private equity at the time. My co-founder was finishing his MBA at MIT. And we did an experiment. It's like, would people want a Web3 professional network? And it went very viral. There's this gamified point system.
Yeah.
And we say that your reputation is your currency. You're earning bond points that then you can use to apply to jobs or recommend people and accessing those bounties. Over time, you're going to use those points to access more and more different economic opportunities beyond just 9 to 5 jobs, just fractional work and opportunities, tasks, airdrops. Yeah. There will be a myriad of things to do. And when we did that, we saw that it went very viral. People were very interested. We got, I think, 1 million downloads in about 9 months, which is even faster in the app. We got 1 million downloads in the first 9 months. We said, okay, we have a company here. We became full-time in 2022. It was about a year of the app being there. From there, then we got funding in July 2022 from VCs. And that's when really kind of things started. We built out a big tech team and we evolved things. Number one is, I call it app version 1, because the previous one was really a bootstrapped, kind of experimented app. Yeah. And that was really the beginning. The origin, I would say, of version 1 of the app was July of 2023. That was the release of the big version of the app that you can see today. And we've been evolving and iterating since then. And our job portal was released in January of this year. So that's when we started scaling from jobs. We've scaled it from 0 to about, I think, 600 jobs now. Wow. And there's about $300,000 available in bounties. And we've had really, really big companies try, from Stretcoin to Anchor, Orderly Network, Binance. There's a lot of companies that have tried the platform today.
That's impressive, because this industry is growing so much, and sometimes it's again difficult to find talents. And if you solve that problem, it's going to be huge. And you actually are solving already, so it's impressive.
I appreciate it.
So, okay, can you tell us a bit more about the investment that the project has get to it? Because I want to give a bit more understanding to the people who are watching, to dive more deep into it, because I see that you created a whole ecosystem. There is also a token that you're launching is going to be at some point in the market, which we want to go a bit later into that as well. So let's dive more deep into the ecosystem and to the investments that you got until now.
Okay, the way we've done fundraising is actually pretty community driven. We've never been like a hot VC-backed startup. We're basically super scrappy, and we were also born and had to go through extreme crypto winter, right? Mm-hmm. So the way we worked really is through sheer will and traction and being very lean. But The first round we ever raised was on a rolling basis, and it was family or friends on our network. That was the initial funding that we got for the company. Some prominent angels there, but not big VC round. Then
like private investors in the beginning, those two
angel investors, our own
investors.
family and friends. That's really where the first funding came from, and that's what got us going for like the first year. Then 2022, we did a VC round, and we got investors from different VCs, institutional, also like larger angel checks, and that was in 2022. Some big names from our VC round would be Animoca or Morningstar, who also helped us with our big KOL round, and I believe that's how we met. Danilo and the team are fantastic.
They are huge. So if they are also investing, it's very important for the people to know that they are also investing in your project.
Yeah, Morningstar have invested in us. Dext Force Tools, which is, for example, the venture side of Dext Tools, which is also really great to have.
Yeah.
All our investors are very strategic. They have a lot of value. In the case of Morningstar, I mean, you know them well. Yeah. They're fantastic.
They're huge, and something that I like. Sorry for interrupting. Something that I like about them is that when they invest in the project, they are not just putting their money. They put their effort, their compliance, their connections. They try to do everything to help the project and succeed, and that's what I like more about them, really.
Absolutely, they're super active, and also they know marketing very well. They know the ecosystem of influencers, for example, and KOLs very well in the space. They're value add. Every check that we've had in from an institutional point of view has been very strategic. No, everything's smart money, but also very active. And then that took us to CoinList, right? Doing the launchpad, which we did in March of this year. We broke participation record. More than 20,000 people participated in the sale. We raised $6.5 million. And that was really the big round that we did, and where our treasury sits today, thanks to that big round. So really, we're mostly public and retail and kind of smaller oriented with a little bit of a portion of a VC, but we're not one of those projects that's basically, most of the supply owned by a VC or VC backed. We're predominantly, if you look at our tokenomics, we're very, very retail community driven.
That's good. So what would you say that, so there's a token that people also can invest. Of course, they have to do their own due diligence, etc. We are here presenting, analyzing the project. So it's not any investment or financial advice. But just to clarify this for the audience, but what would you say that gives value to the token over time? So, or what will be the use case of the token of Bondex?
Yeah, so the Bondex tokens, BDXN, I would say that there's three main utilities to focus on, right? One of them is, obviously it will have some governance features as we decentralize over time, having access to kind of voting on the future of the network and the ecosystem. So that's one. Number two is you're going to use it to pay for utility within the ecosystem. So it's a utility token. So, for example, there's some premium features that are going to be coming up in our roadmap. You're going to be paying, for example, if you want premium subscription, you will be paying in our token. And now there's some really great providers in which you can actually offer an on-ramp, even pay with your card, and you're buying the tokens directly. And you want to give that utility because as an old project, it's very important that your token economy, it's connected to the products and services. And that utility, that's one example, but there's many other ways in which people would spend it on the platform to access products and services within the Bondex ecosystem. And the last one is you want value redistribution. That's a big promise of Web3. In our case, we want to restructure, especially the advertising model of the internet, right? Once you have these profiles and all this incredibly valuable data, the idea is for the users to actually own and control their own data and then give permission on its monetization, which can be done via advertising or actually selling the data itself. That will be tracked, and then they will get a revenue share essentially from it. Now, in order to do it, you actually have to be an active contributor to the network. That's how it's gated, and that's how you keep it to be a utility token. So you essentially have to contribute to the network. Then you can get and you get periodic airdrops from the revenues of the ecosystem. Some of the advertising, really? That's right, yeah.
Oh, that's good for the people, especially now that it's quite hot in the market, this whole thing with the airdrops. So it's really very good. So people maybe can look into this.
It's called airdrops. You could, I mean, in traditional finance, people would call it dividends, but you don't want to be a security token, and that's tricky.
I think it's much better airdrops. I fully agree.
But the way it works is periodic, but the key is that you need to, it's a meritocracy. You need to be an active contributor to the network in whatever role you're playing in order to unlock those airdrops. Otherwise, you're just enjoying, the value of the token going up. And if you're a passive kind of investor, but you need to be an active user and contribute to the network if you want to unlock or those basically airdrops and revenue distribution.
Okay, and this is different from the referral system that you have on the platform, right?
That's separate, right? The referral system today is if you refer a candidate and he gets hired, the company pays you basically, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 for having recommended that successful candidate. We charge a success fee on top of that. And the idea is that will also move into our own tokens over time, but frictionless, so people can again off-ramp and on-ramp easily with other tokens, fiat, etc.
I like that actually, because you give the opportunity to the community also to interact and to profit from it, not just a token somebody to buy it, but you give, so the one is to be engaged and active, as you say, with the airdrops, and this one here to refer, because everybody knows somebody who knows something. So
that's right. I mean, this is a real world use case.
Very cool.
It's a real world use case, right, of crypto and Web3 in the real world. And what we're trying to solve for is people finding the right talent, for talent to find the right companies, and for people to monetize their network. But that's just the first utility we're using here. The dream is much bigger. This is only the beginning. But you need a solid utility and use case to attract those users, to attract the companies, and start building the marketplace. So that's why that's our hook. That's how we're going to market, is by offering that value and that utility first. But over time, the idea is, you build a big audience of users and community, and you build a big social network. That's what we're building.
Sounds good. At what stage is the project now, and when is expected the token to be listed on the exchanges?
Yep. So for a little bit of context, we actually already planned our TG in the past, which we set at different times. The last big one was July 10th, and then we were hoping to go in September. Now, even though we've had a big Bitcoin rally, and there's a massive meme cycle going on, new alts have not enjoyed really an alt season yet.
It's true, and they are kind of still in a bear, let's say, because they are still around 70% in average down from the new all-time high that we had in the first 4 months of this year. So
that's right. And tier one exchanges kind of stopped their pipeline of new alts. I think alts that have listed in this time really do so because they don't really have another option and they need funding. We have the luxury of having a healthy treasury, so it's better for us to wait for the right market window. But also, it's all about, I'm seeing a period of maturity in the industry, right? And now alts you need to be further along with traction and the utility of your token economy before you list, or you will not perform well in the medium and long term. And so really what we did is we looked at our roadmap, and really it's as simple as problems and solutions. Something that the industry as a whole, we haven't really achieved product market fit except for a few use cases, right? Really send money, store money, or speculate and make money, right?
There have not been so many problems yet in the market.
That's right. So we were like, let's take this back. And I'm really excited about the next product releases. That's what we're focused on. And I'm hoping, what we're working on with our exchange partners is to time the TGE along with those product releases, a lot of really great on-chain features, but again, also solving, problems, solutions instead of solutions, looking for problems. And when we line that all up, that's gonna, result in a really great TGE. And it also comes down to working with those exchange partners with what is the best timing, right? They have the best view of it. They also have a pipeline of slots and different projects that they need to give you kind of your tier. And we have a lead exchange. We cannot disclose who it is confidentially. It's one of the top ones in the world.
Tier 1 exchange.
Tier 1 exchange, yes. We have a tier 1 exchange. It's one of our partners. And they're kind of, we're letting them kind of set the pace and the window. We're also working with, a lot of other exchanges that are set. I'm actually think that some of them have been disclosed in public already. I'm not meant to, I can say who was going to be part of the lineup in July, for example, which was going to be, the confidential one I cannot disclose until they do it, and there's a few of them circling around the same.
If it is tier 1 exchange, I think it's that's enough for the people, and then the who would not make that big difference. Maybe yes, but if it's tier 1, I think it's good.
Perfect, good. Better so I don't get in trouble with anyone. A lot of contracts, a lot of NDAs and things like that. But ultimately, the timing needs to be determined by them when they think it's a solid window. And we have a healthy treasury, and it's best for us to build more and more traction, better and better products and services, because that equals a better TGE.
Sounds good. Now we are here in Dubai doing this podcast. You are here those days. What exactly are you doing with strategically here? Doing some partnerships or meetups? So trying to expand here?
So no more than geographic expansion. We already have some clients and some candidates and searches happening here and also in the Middle East in general. But no, I came here for the Binance Blockchain Week, which was a fantastic conference. I believe you were there as well. It was really great overall. I mean, amazing for business development, clients, partnerships, integrations.
Seeing
really
people,
exciting.
meeting people also.
Absolutely. And obviously Binance, apart from them having tried the platform to hire before, they're obviously the biggest exchange in the world. They have a VC arm. They have lots of integrations from, KYC provide, like DID. I mean, the sky's the limit, right? There's such a big ecosystem. So obviously navigating and integrating into that ecosystem as much as possible. And or the weekend is Ton, right? The Telegram, or the blockchain that also operates on Telegram, the messaging app. We've actually already built a few things with them. We did a tap game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did. We are working essentially on a pretty special project that it's part of their hackathon, which I believe submission is the 23rd of November. Winners will be announced at the end of December. And it's a major kind of distribution mechanism for Bondex and use case for the Bondex profiles. But it's something that's going to have a really cool mini app, and it solves a real problem that a lot of people have. But instead of kind of trying to change people's habits, what we're doing is enhancing the way Telegram is used.
That's good.
And leveraging Ton as well.
Yeah,
and so
sometimes you don't need to invent the wheel, you just need to help the wheel to move on,
That's right. And I'll give a little bit of a sneak peek, but essentially we're thinking about problem solutions, right? And how does that fit into our wider roadmap and Bondex and what we're building, right? Future of social, future of professional networking, not just Web3, but leveraging Web3 to make that better and disrupt it. And I find it that when we go to conferences and the Web3 kind of crowd, we're always kind of like taking our QR code out, and then a lot of things get lost in Telegram and our folders, and it's a bit noisy.
I have about 2,000 contacts on Telegram, and most of them I don't know who is. From people meeting from these events,
And the problem is that then, we don't convert as many of the conversations. And even though we're all meeting in real life all the time, the crypto and Web3 is probably like the most social, community-driven industry in the world. I've never seen anything like it in any other industry that I've ever worked in. Like, everyone's trying to help each other. Even the way you build it, you connect. But we don't convert as many of the conversations that we have in real life as we should. And so we're working on, basically
converting that.
Yeah, digital identity on top of Telegram and some also organization categorization things. I don't want to disclose too much because I don't want anyone out there to steal the idea. But we're going to be releasing that before the end of the year, and I think it's going to be absolutely massive. I think it's really going to help everyone that attends these conferences, and that's the best audience in Web3.
Me will have for sure, definitely. I use every single day.
That's right. I mean,
it's my major channel of communication with my clients, with the people, my connections, and everybody. So
everyone in Web3 is on Telegram.
Yeah, that sounds good. So this is also one of the things on your roadmap. So what else is that you could tell us today for the next upcoming weeks, months, or next year for Bondex?
That's right. So that's really kind of a side experiment, right? And as a company, wanting to achieve product market fit and then scale, you need to run a lot of experiments and fast iterations, right? So, the digital card experiment, it's kind of a side. The core main roadmap for us is more about social features, but also this kind of setting up the infrastructure of trust in Bondex. And that comes through reputation and the reputation score. And that's really data and how you structure data. So what we're doing next is working on our attestations and verified credentials piece and how that feeds into essentially a Web 2.5 professional profile. And it's going to be a lot more than profile. It also has social aspects. And it's modular. It doesn't make sense that you have templates and a resume and everyone is the same. As a creator, as a, when I was a financial analyst, if someone's a designer, if someone is an engineer, they all want to showcase different things in their resume. Yeah. And so it doesn't make sense that we all have the same LinkedIn profile. Someone, if you're an engineer, you probably want to showcase your GitHub and some of the code that you've contributed to, and maybe some projects that you've done, right? And then you put your work experience, or the other way around. If you're a DGen, for example, maybe you want to put your top holdings, or showcase performance of your trading. Or if you're a builder, again, everyone is different. So
it's actually very cool.
I appreciate that. So yeah, that's what we're working on. Basically,
I'm already seeing the picture.
I would love to show you. I know we're gonna have some time later this weekend and week, and I would love to show you the designs and stuff like that. But essentially, we're disrupting a professional and social profile, and also the social features. Just like everything else, it needs to be gated through reputation. I think that Web 2 in general, whether it's social networks, social media channels, as well as talent platforms, they felt to solve for trust. That's what makes them data monopolies, but also we're riddled with middlemen in everything we do, because we don't have enough trust when we're exchanging skills, time, money, interactions, professional or social. We're not really have enough trust to do that seamlessly today in the platforms, right? But reputation can solve for that trust.
Yeah.
So again, all of these things that we're doing is to solve for, trust through a greater amount of reputation. So that's really what's next for us. It's and we're going to do that through attestations, verified credentials, this new reputation, but also revolutionizing what a professional profile does, and also aggregating your reputations on the Web 2 channels and places that you hang out in. From your Telegram to your Twitter to your YouTube, wherever you are in Web 2, LinkedIn, GitHub, all those things will also be aggregated.
Sounds great. I would like to hear also the audience opinion down below in the comments, so make sure you comment down below, and also follow Bondex on all the social media. You will find down below on the description all the links. How do you see Bondex in 2025 next year?
Okay, that's a great question. Hopefully we get the bull that we're all hoping for. And but really, it's all about adoption. Where do I want to get to? I want to get to a critical mass of millions of daily active users, the biggest social play in the entire Web3 space. That's my goal for 2025. And then I would say towards the end of the year, really begin competing at a scale with LinkedIn to start with. But it's all about critical mass.
About how the market will actually move. Obviously you have your strategies and your plans, etc., your growth, but as all the other projects, they're going to be also a big part of the success is going to be based on the markets, let's be honest. And that's not only for Bondex, it's for every single project in the space. So in this case, how do you see the markets performing in next year? So what do you see? Nobody can predict the future. I cannot predict. I try to do analysis to give people information. As also CZ said on the Binance Week, nobody can predict the future. You can analyze the history and try to have a sense about, understand about the future. So what do you see about the market especially in 2025?
So I'm excited for the market in 2025. I think that obviously there's some big macro that will influence it, right? There's the US elections, right? That can set the stage for finally having a regulation framework in the US. Which I think we're all hoping for. I have a traditional background, so I want regulation. I want that framework. I want US-led innovation. If there's no regulation, there will not come money to the industry. It's that simple. And we need that for mass adoption, and we need that. We also have too much, scamming and bad actors in the space, and that needs to be taken care of, right? And so that's also why I want that regulation to come in. So that's one thing that I see for 2025. Now, again,
one question more about the regulation. Do you think, based on your view until now, that whoever, I don't want to talk politics, but if any of the candidates win, is going to be the same kind of similar for this industry, or you think it's going to be some difference if one of the ones otherwise will influence differently the industry? And when it comes to the regulations, because now they are saying both that we are pro crypto, will help the industry, but from the existing administration, for example, there was quite a lot attack especially in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I think no matter what, you're going to see a change. I think that both sides have now said they're more or less pro crypto, but it's clear that one means it more.
Yeah.
I was always a fan of Robert F. Kennedy, right? And then he endorsed Trump. So that's also, I mean, as a crypto guy, I think we're all kind of cheering for him.
Yeah.
And we're biased, right? We have a kind of an economic incentive to support him. But I think no matter what, there's going to be a change of the administration in the SEC. And, I think there's already bipartisan kind of regulatory framework already happening in the government, regardless of which administration is winning. So that is happening. I think it's more about market momentum, and I think the markets are going to perform better if the Republicans win. However,
Yeah, you never know. You cannot predict, but yeah,
that's right.
We can see a few things from the past, and usually after the elections, what we know historically is that the markets knows what they can have kind of prediction for afterwards, and they they usually start moving up again. Usually after the election, there's no promise of investment, but do you see the same?
Well, it's uncertainty pauses everything, right? So people just want to know whoever wins and then position themselves accordingly to how they believe, right? So I'm not a great trader. I'm a builder, right? So I look at really things long term, and I don't trade very much. Like I really hold my positions and
I do the same.
Not very active.
Yeah.
Again, I'm more of a builder, thinking of problem solutions, scales, etc. But the way I see it, at least in this case, is people are paused their investment due to the uncertainty, and it's not just crypto; it's real estate.
Oh yeah, because
I've seen it in many industries.
It's worse going like between Israel, Iran, and whatever is happening there. They want to go into the deals, and Russia and Ukraine and other uncertainties, maybe Taiwan and China, like.
Exactly. So people are kind of like paused, all of that, but then once you have that conclusion, whether it's Republican or Democrat, it doesn't matter. Then they'll position, and then the world goes on and adapts to that result. So right now we're kind of in, we're only a few days away now of this finally concluding and
just
us moving on. Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, I'm relieved. Whatever happens, I think we just need to move forward, right? And I've seen this pause happen for like quite a while now. So I'm bullish. I'm bullish on that, and I'm bullish in 2025. I think no matter what, we're gonna have a good 2025. I think one just means accelerating that and much faster, and that's what I'm hoping for.
That's great, and actually it's good that kind of all the leaders are kind of coordinate. It's like also kind of coordination. I don't know how to say, but how to word it properly maybe. But it's like I see all the leaders in this industry are kind of coordinated to go massively and to get ready for 2025. That it's expected to go up. Sometimes everybody expects, and then happens something the opposite, and anything can happen. But also this kind of agreement or coordination, or however you say it, because it's not like we are saying that we're going to do this, we're going to take the markets up, but everybody it has come in this conclusion that the market will start going up on especially after election in 2025.
I agree. There's two things that into 2025 that number one is there's obviously two major conflicts going on, and I'm hoping that those also get better, and because those things getting worse and escalating are not good for the markets, right? The only thing that benefits is the U.S. military-industrial complex. That's the only thing that benefits from war, and those people that are actually incentivized to get that done. But really, I'm also excited about innovation, right? So this last cycle has not been innovation-led. It's been really financial-led, right? The ETFs kind of started it. I see it more as a Bitcoin rally, and then you've had a massive meme cycle. But again, it has not been an NFT, DeFi-driven cycle like last time, which was innovation-led. I want that to happen in 2025. I want to start seeing the big mass use cases, right? I saw some amazing AAA gaming stuff this week. That gets me excited, right?
I also saw something similar.
I'm excited. I'm excited for what we're bringing to the table, because I think there's going to be a really mass adopted social and Web3, which has not been cracked yet. I think people have built things that are too complicated. I think we want the magic and features that blockchain can provide without its complexity, at least not for the super crypto savvy and crypto native population that can use these tools in consumer, but really to apply to a mass audience. That's what we're working on, and I'm excited about. But I've also seen a lot of things that have been, I've seen throughout this week that I'm excited about for next week. So it's not just about market and prices. Yes, I agree. I think those will go up, but we need innovation-led
in the space.
you know, in the space.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about a lot of things that are going to come up in 2025 that hopefully gets, you know, more retail, more users into the space. That's what we want, right?
Awesome. So what is your personal goal and purpose in this industry?
Okay, that's a great question.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I have one major goal. I think the journey of building this company has been one of the greatest of my life.
Wow.
I think that it's quite funny. I think that I heard it the other day. You kind of start a company, and I needed to get it out. I need to prove that I'm right in my thesis, right? If you're just economically motivated, you're not going to stick through the tough times, right? We already went through a crypto winter. It was extremely tough.
Yeah.
And you won't be resilient if you're just motivated by kind of economics, right?
Yeah.
But the character that you have to develop and the toughness to actually execute and make a company successful, I think ends up being the reward and the journey in itself.
I agree.
And that's what I'm finding out. You know, I think that I used to think, oh, you know, when Bondex hits X or Y, you know, I'll get myself something, you know, I think, you know, this is stupid, but like something physical or like as a goal, like that's how I would think. I'm no longer interested in like going out and like buying myself something when Bondex is successful. I just completely driven by making it successful. That is the gift in itself. And also I think like how I'm developing as a person and professionally in my character through the challenge that it is making a company successful is the reward in the journey itself.
That's great to hear, because honestly, there's not much people who are building projects that they have the same. They may say a few words, but usually you see them going with rented Lambos and you know, and then you know that these people are not going to go so far. But that's great to really to hear that. And if you started in 21 and you managed to survive through the bear market and still be here and having this preparation for the future of the company, of the Bondex, for me it's super great, super good. And there are few projects that I really know that they have done this, like to build during the bear market. And these people that made that, they have my respect. You know, you never know what's going to happen. There's no guarantee of success. We know that, you know. What we can guarantee at some point, or guarantee, is that our vision, our mission there, and our purpose to get it done, our willingness to get it done. And if that's I believe that I personally trust people. You know, if I see the person that is determined to get it done, then I would trust. You know, I would take the chance. I would take the risk.
I appreciate that. I think that crypto can be really fast.
Yeah.
And it's distorted people's perception of like sometimes making money. Like it is not easy.
Yeah.
Like it's hard. Like at the end of the day, fundamental wise, like things take time, always longer than you want them to. You need to work really hard to make things happen and be successful and make money. And crypto can sometimes, just the casino and the speed of it, I think has distorted people's view of it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm a long-term person playing long-term games, and you know, it's really tough. Every inch is hard won. And you have to have that attitude. And depending on the use case, listen, if you're in memes, you can be very short term.
Yeah, but honestly, usually those people almost never keep their money. So like people who really succeed is the one who build, maintain, and expand what they have, and that's how they survive and stay over time. Because a lot of people may make some money or, you know, do some trials, but the one who they don't have clear vision for the future, they're not around for long.
I also think that like as a human being, you enjoy success more if it's hard won, right? If you make money too fast, it can mess you up. I've seen a lot of people be very unhappy because I think it was too easy.
Yeah, and they don't know what to do. Like it's so ridiculous. But honestly, I have also heard from many, even multi-millionaires, like with hundreds of millions of dollars, that the money destroyed their life because they were just trapped with that and they know what to do until they kind of manage in some way. Or some people, they just lose everything and go back to zero again. Because from my also understanding, I went also through a lot of tough times. I started from Greece in a very bad economy because it was hit with crisis and left and right, and I went through a lot of tough times. But the biggest personal satisfaction as a human being is what I create, what I produce, and like to the society and to other people. What effect do you create outside? Not just some money. I made money. I'm still making money, but If I also, as you say, if I would just stay with that, I would not be able to survive through bear market, because also the bear market was very, very tough for influencers and from other businesses that I have. So I totally agree with you.
I just think as humans, like, yes, of course, money provides, I mean, you need it, right? And you need it to a certain level to be comfortable and not to be in survival mode and unhappy. And a lot of people don't have that luxury, right? To be at that level. But once you optimize for that, I think having purpose and, you know, waking up and working on something that you care about and your interest and you're feeling that you're having a good impact in the world, I think that's much more important to your happiness, right? And, you know, you evolve as a person over time, you grow up and you mature, and like, that's why I'm saying, what is my goal in the industry? I mean, to make Bondex successful, to revolutionize Web3, to help restructure this paradigm shift into a new era of the internet in which people can actually own a piece of it, you know, read, write, own. I'm a really big believer in that. But ultimately, what I see as a personal goal is that I am getting better and evolving as a person through going through this challenge, and I'm grateful for it.
That's amazing. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the CEO of Bondex, Ignacio, thank you very much for this podcast.
Thank you very much for having me, Giannis. It's been a real pleasure, and thank you for everyone for listening and watching today.
Likewise, check out the links down below in the description for all the social media, so you learn more about Bondex, website, Twitter, all the social media. Like, follow, and if you have any question also, please feel free to comment down below in the description.
Thank you very much. Have a great day, everyone.